I think yesterday on Instagram, I made a post about adulthood, and I told people to like give me what they love about adulthood in the comments, and you can expect very funny and weird comments, right?
Very,
And I was
yeah.
making a point that you get to a point in your life where the last 18 to 20 years of your life becomes a distant memory. Now you're
Mm.
basically responsible for yourself. You've things have always been done for you, you know. I mean, literally everything, bills, having food on your table, and all of those things. And then you get to a place in just a number of, say, 2 to 3 months, you transition
Mm.
from that life into a one where you have to be responsible for yourself. It feels very
Right.
daunting and scary.
Very.
But one of the things I learned while I was transitioning from that phase is that you build connections along the way and you learn by doing. It's not like everything comes to you on the platter. It never does.
Mm.
So I don't know if there's anybody in the chat who sort of understands how weird this can be. If you're above 18, you know what I'm talking about. And we're currently in this age now that everybody feels like they lie to us. Nobody lied to us, if I'm being honest, because they all live the same lives as well. But then now we are seeing things differently, and we're like, I
Mm.
don't think I agree with that lifestyle where you feel like I have to be stuck with just one thing.
Right,
Um,
right.
I want to explore more into my what is special about me, my creativity, whatever it is. And we
Mm.
find people in their 20s today doing a number of things, like a million and one things. And
Mm.
that's because in those days, these people had like maybe just one job, civil servants, or I don't know, a trader, whatever it is. It was just one thing. And they
One
put
thing.
everything into that one thing. But then you see us today,
And they were
we're
satisfied
like,
with the one thing. It was enough.
they were. And
It
it built
was just
something
enough.
like amazing for them. But then right
Mm.
now, we have somebody who is 18 or 19 doing like 10 different things.
Tell me about
And
it.
what scares me now is the 10 things there is we don't have one that we master. And
So
it's just like
good.
we are beating around the bush on several different things without a
Mm.
specific focus. Now, I'm not saying you should niche, but then be able to master one and then diversify into other things along the way.
Mm.
So I'll just share personal experience, right? So, I mean, you were doing an introduction, and if the introduction further a little bit, you would hear Dimeji is an architect, is a designer, is a podcaster, is a
I
YouTuber,
decided
is a
not to
video
read everything
creator,
because I'm just like,
right?
is Dimeji.
I started like 3 to 4 firms or
Mm.
startups and a lot of other things, and I'm not even 30 yet.
Mm.
Now, all of these things, it sounds very amazing to hear, but it actually isn't. Because if you try to do like a weighing and then try to understand, okay, all the things you started and all the things that have continued and are lasting today, which one, right? You realize that there were a lot more abandoned projects along the way than
Mm.
things that you actually stayed on and achieved something about. And I'll share one. So I remember while I was transitioning from, my master's, like BSc to master's, within that space of like 3 months of break, I decided to do something and explore an entrepreneurial side of myself. While I was doing all of that, I took on this furniture business and poured money into it. Well, money from my fees anyway. My parents must not hear this. I took out money from my master's fee and then I invested
Mm.
it in the business and I put everything into it. But then I made some mistakes along the way, right? Imagine you hiring a carpenter to do the designs you've designed for a furniture business and then prepared and planned for like a show day, the day where you're going to like have people come and like an open day where they will come and see the furniture, test it,
Uh-huh.
and then you can pitch to investors and all of that. And I was
Mm-hmm.
doing all of this. That was 2015. But then, it, about 3 weeks to when I'm supposed to have this speech, I realized that my exams were coming up. So I decided to pause my exams, the business, and then
Oh.
do my exams, and then get back to the open day exhibition.
Mm. Mm.
Those 3 weeks plus 1 week of exams, something happened, right? Um, After exams, I was excited. I was already even sharing invites for this for this exhibition, and then I realized that something was different. I
Mm.
started seeing types of my design in other places, and I was wondering what was going on.
No
Only for me to realize
way.
that within the 3 weeks of me being away, the carpenter had already gone ahead, took my drawings, took my ideas, and reproduced them in numbers.
That's so sad.
And there was no point even exhibiting anymore because everybody has seen it. So I ended up losing a lot of money, packing this furniture and just using it in my apartment then. And it was
Wow.
like, this is a big blow. So how do I get my money back? How do I do this? There was no headway,
I
right?
have a question.
And in
Let
that,
me just sorry, hold it. Hold the thought. Don't lose it. How did that make you feel at that level? I mean, you had masters going on, right? And definitely you were probably in your mid 20s at this time. How did that make you feel? And how did you navigate that season?
actually, it was early 20s. I think I was
Okay.
21.
Okay. That's
And
bold.
one
That's
of
really bold. At 21,
one of the
that's
things
bold.
one the way I felt about it was that
Mm,
ah, this is the end. My parents must not hear about this. I am done. Second year of masters was going to start. So how am I going to pay my fees and all of that? I mean, we're
oh my
talking
God.
about 800K in investment, and it was just wild.
At that time,
And
800K must have been a lot.
yes, so I was in between. Should I quit and focus on just exploring and making
Wow.
money, or I mean, there was no option. There
Mm,
was, as in, there was no quit or no quit option. It was just this thing. You've been on it for a year. This business, you put your entire soul into it, and
mm.
now both of them look like they're going to fail.
Wait, eh,
So while I was in that process, I poured myself into self-help books
mm,
and content as early as that time, 2015. And one thing I realized was that nobody has it figured out. People failed along the way, and those failures sort of helped them become better.
mm,
So while it was going to be the typical thing for me to beat myself up, I didn't do that. I
mm,
just decided that, you know what, I'm brushing this thing to the side. I'm going to go and take a 9 to 5 job. Even with my masters, I have to make this money back, no matter what, like no matter the cost. At least settle masters and then maybe build this business later or focus
Now,
on something
yeah.
else. So um, I decided to just get a job, and the job I got
Okay.
was with an architectural firm. I became a landscape architect and basically just did side gigs with them. So major projects that I did. There was this beautification of under bridges in Lagos, where they
Mm.
would turn the under bridge to like a garden and a park. So I was lucky enough to be one of the main architects for that project and
Ah,
for Lagos State government,
beautiful.
and it was a really good one. I mean, I was able to make back my money in like after 3 months, and that just taught me something that wait, oh, I don't have to wait till I'm done with school before I can get into the market. So I went all
Absolutely.
out. Yeah. But then before I went all out, I made sure that I was done with my program. And within that period of me doing the program for the next 1 year, I was planning ahead for when I'm going to get into the space. And me getting there now, I'm not going in as a 9 to 5er. I'm not going as somebody who's employed. I'm starting something by myself. So
Mm.
that experience taught me that look, you don't plan for failures, which is a terrible thing. Plan for failures. They are a good part of the journey. Like you
Mm.
can't just brush them to one side. That is what makes the journey interesting. Because when I'm telling the story now, somebody is like probably feeling inspired or feeling empathetic
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But then all of this thing I'm sharing now would not be possible if I didn't go through that period of failure. So I feel like we discount so much of the failures we have that it becomes a nightmare for us, but it shouldn't
Mm.
be. It's supposed to be a stepping stone into achieving more things for yourself. I mean, it allowed me to realize that if I can successfully carry out a project, and even though I wasn't the one that got the benefits from it, people loved
Mm.
it, which means I have something
You have
valuable to
something.
give. So
Absolutely.
I need to explore more and be able to craft out better ways to express myself, but at the same time, not be at the detriment or like not, you know, not be on the losing side. So I became
Mm.
very invested in business of creativity, business of design, and I went all out with it.
I'ma
So
take you for a ride, let me take it off your mind, cause you know it's a season.